Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your Captain Bashir Fadl as we continue a journey into Salesforce Epics development. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of very important concepts, which are methods and constructors. But first, let's just take a moment to define what a method is. A method is the equivalent of a function in object-oriented programming. A method accepts parameters as arguments, it manipulates these, and then produces an output when the method is called on an object. Methods are similar to functions, but methods are also classified according to their purpose in the class design. So in classes, variables are called attributes, so methods often operate on attributes. So a method is a subroutine attached to a specific class defined in the source code of a program. It's similar to a function, but can only be called by an object created from a class. When you create a class, you can define methods and fields in it, and they can be private and public. And with that, we call the modifier. So there are two modifiers for class methods in Epics: public or protected. The return type is mandatory for method, and if method is not returning anything, then you must mention void as the return type. Additionally, the body is also required for our methods. Now, as you can see the screen, we have a couple of parameters mentioned in square brackets. These are optional. However, the following components are essential. Number one, the return data type, and number two, the method name. Access modifiers for class methods. Using access modifiers, you can specify access level for the class methods. For example, public method will be accessible from anywhere in the class and outside of the class. Private method will be accessible only within the class. Global will be accessible by all the Epics classes and can be exposed as a web service method accessible to other Epics classes. Now look at a different example. This method that we have has a return type as integer and takes no parameter. And now let's look at this example. A method can have parameters as shown. A quick reminder that all the code that we're looking at and all the code and scripts are available in Kinsey Tech. Simply go to the Salesforce Epics development course. In my opinion, it's such a great investment in your pursuit of Salesforce administration and Salesforce development to visit kinseytech.com and register for the Salesforce Admin and Developer plus Certification Exam course, because there you're going to find tons of subject material in administration and business analyst and in Epics development that's very valuable to what we're pursuing here. All you have to do is click through the subject that you're interested in, and you'll be able to watch the video that's related to it. In some cases, there's also explanation in there in terms of verbiage, and the code that's explained in the video in some of those cases is also included. So if I find a trigger that's been explained and I want to try it out, all I have to do is just copy that trigger into my developer console, be able to run it and follow with the course as well. In addition to that, at the very end of the course, if you scroll down all the way, you're going to find a lot of certifications exams. In this case, for the admin, there's over 200 questions. All I have to do is click through it. You'll find the explanation. Once you're ready to take the quiz, you'll click on the quiz, and you have your multiple choice right there. If you get the right answer, it scores it as right. If it's wrong, then you'll be told why it's wrong, given the explanation right then and there. So it's a great value as you pursue administration and development in Salesforce. Also, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So now we're transitioning a little bit deeper into what's called a class constructor. A constructor is a code that is invoked when an object is created from the class blueprint. It has the same name as the class name. We do not need to define the constructor for every class, as by default, a no-argument constructor gets called. Constructors are useful for initialization of variables or when a process is to be done at the time of class initialization. For example, you would like to assign value to certain integer variables as 0 when the class gets called. So we can call the method of a class via constructor as well. This may be useful when programming epics for visual force controllers. When class object is created, then the constructor is called as shown. And this would explain the example that we did in the first session when we talked about classes, as this is the class name, method. So now let's go ahead and create the constructor that goes with this. So you could see how we can call the method of a class using the constructor as well. So hopefully this explains what methods are, as well as what constructors are. And again, if you want to run the examples, please log into the Kinsey Tech, be able to see the code. And a quick reminder, there's also what's called overloading constructors. So for example, if we have area, we want to use area of a circle versus of a cube versus of a rectangle, then this is an example of how our constructors can be overloaded. In other words, a class can have more than one constructor defined with different parameters. We hope you enjoyed this session. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't hesitate to go to Kinsey Tech so you can download the code and work with it. We'll see you in the next session.